Hi everyone, it's Natalie here, and yeah, I think I'm gonna break this up into two videos. Long story short, I received a voucher for Barnes and Noble worth $100, and went ahead and decided to just get some tarot decks. And when I went to look at what tarot decks from my sort of saved list I have on Amazon and in various other places, really the ones that I wanted to work with were playful, sweet, cute, and did not require any further study or action on my part in order to be able to use them. Aside from just the usual, like, getting to know a tarot deck. Hang on one second, I just gotta clear my throat. This is so bad. Sorry about that. Anyway, and for whatever reason, this one has been on my list for quite a while now. It's the Cats Rule the Earth Tarot, written by Catherine Davidson and illustrated by Tiago Correa, who is a Brazilian artist, as I understand it. It is published by Abrams Image. Let's see, is that, yeah, we're good. We can see this. Sorry about the like intrusive whatever here from the tripod, but this is how it is. So yeah, I don't know. I just really, when I looked for a flip through, I haven't seen this very often, like on the tarot tube. Like, it doesn't seem to be a particularly popular deck, and I'm kind of not sure why, because it's absolutely divine. I'm not usually a cute tarot person. And I will say that the challenges of the last few months have kind of made it such that I kind of feel a need for some cute, honestly. There's been a lot of heavy stuff, and cute feels nice right now. I would not call myself feline obsessed, certainly, but I'm definitely like super into my cats, and into, rescuing animals. So the box is really beautiful. Card and guidebook. Here we go. Card deck and guidebook. We got this. Yeah, and here's the back. So really, really beautiful quality here with this deck. Sorry, my little marker here keeps moving. Yeah, I'm really impressed. So let's open it and have a look. I mean, look at that, right? Like, as a first impression when you buy a new deck, is that not marvelous? And before I take anything out of here, just look at this. Is that stunning? It's like, it's so sweet with the little sun and moon and clouds and sky and everything. And it's just so cohesive and sweet. And I love it. So it has a really, really adorable guidebook. But first, look at this. Isn't that so cute? Oh my goodness. That gives me like cute aggression, which I don't frequently experience. I really, I love cute, but I'm not attached. But this is giving me like the happy vibes. So we've got, this cat looks a lot like my own cat, Trinley, to me. This one resembles my former cat, Benson. I mean, it feels welcoming right from the start. And just the detail, the fact then too, and I will say I have opened this, I have shuffled. I did reorder them this morning when I thought, no, I definitely want to do a walkthrough. So we'll get to that in just a second, but like, look at this. You can totally just lift your cards right out of there so perfectly and easily. Oops, I just trapped one. Okay, that's the first time I've noticed that was even possible to do. Okay, and it comes right out. So yeah, I guess they can go under there, but the likelihood is that they won't. But is that not gorgeous? What? I mean, box people, this is your box, man. It's gonna fit right on your bookshelf. So before we do the cards, and I'll zoom in, let's just look at this little guidebook too, because the guidebook is equally divine. Look at this. It's just so sweet. You know, we've got cats and tarot and enduring affinity, historical feline associations, cats and divination, and this deck, consulting the tarot. You know, I haven't read through all of this just yet, I will say. But then here's how the numbers work, and here's a general overview of numbers and court cards, major and minor. It's really beginner friendly looking. Reverse meanings, like here's how to, you know, deepening your knowledge and stuff with the illustration there. How to do readings. Reading for yourself, reading for others. You know, bias, clues, dialogue, spreads. We've got little spreads in here. You know, with little backings. Celtic cross spread, and then we have like the majors, and so we've got 2 on each page, so that's how they do the majors. And I look, they change colors for every, we're rotating through those colors, and then when we get to the minors, you know, we're getting like 2 per page, but like, well, 4, I guess, the way I'm qualifying things. Yeah. And they're just adorable. Yeah. It's a really sweet little guidebook. I really love how they did it. I love the illustration. I'm a total sucker. They kept it nice and slim, but meaty enough that you're, you know, again, it's not going to be overwhelming for a beginner. And for someone experienced, like, it is fun, I will say. Like, it really is super duper fun. Here are the backs. And while we're at it, I will go ahead and zoom us in. Okay. Yeah, I'll move our little guy down so we're closer. And I gotta move these 2 little markers in so we know where we are. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and I struggle to like actually like get it angled up the correct way because, you know, I'm just like that. When I get finally like a different way of being able to like anchor my phone, which I've been trying to work on for ages now, it'll all be much easier. Okay, not a big deal. So yeah, so look at that. There's already a little nick there. So I can tell that the cardstock is gonna do some things. It's gonna show some wear and tear. The sides, you know, again, I've shuffled it once. Like last night, well, once. I've shuffled and played with it once. Probably shuffled it about 15 times, riffling, and who knows how many times overhand, like a lot. And it is, yeah, it's gonna show some wear and tear because of the cardstock. That said, I mean, all of my cards will because of the way I am a little rough from time to time. It's why I really would only probably ever try and do a trade with somebody if it was a deck that I kept really pristine or didn't use much, right? Because generally if I'm going to use a deck, which I plan to do with this one, I plan to do with all of them, but not always, doesn't always happen. But you know, it is going to show some wear and tear. The cardstock, that said, is pretty sweet. It's very flexible and bendy. It's very silky. It's very silky. I'm trying to think of another deck. I feel like there is another deck. Perhaps one I've even opened recently that feels similar. You know, it's the mushroom one. It's the Midnight Mushroom Tarot. Has a very similar feel. This one is not quite as thick. And I feel like the focus is better. You know, it doesn't have any kind of blurriness to it printing wise, but it's a nice cardstock. I'll show you in a minute. Like once I've walked them through, it shuffles really well. If you like to riffle and bridge, this is your deck. If you're an overhander, I feel like the overhanding is probably where the wear and tear is happening. But who knows? I mean, it's not, you just don't know. You just don't know. Tried and true old-fashioned cardstock, if you're a hardcore shuffler, is never going to let you down. The more modern stuff, you know, you're running a risk. That's just the truth. So here's our Fool. He's chasing, they're chasing a butterfly. The Magician. Excuse me. I love that this is like a tabby cat. And I love the like the muted, I don't know, like sepia filter type aspect of this deck really makes me happy. This, I joked with Tom last night that Trinley posed for the High Priestess, and he likes to be the High Priestess. He's so cute. The Empress with her kitten. So of course we're like hardcore in our Rider-Waite-Smith territory where we're comfortable. And things are pretty straightforward. Here's our Hierophant, which I believe is the image. It is the image. It's reversed and there's no tabby, but it's what was used on the inside of the box. The Lovers. Again, you know, I mean, we're borrowing from RWS, but we're definitely narrowing the scope of what the card means. So again, I really do think this, I mean, it'd be, for those who have that encyclopedically kind of in there anyway, it's just not an issue unless you can't read that way or, you know, whatever. But it's a really good beginner deck. I would totally give this to a beginner and say, like, this will give you a good foundational, you know, basic sense of the cards without overwhelming you. This Chariot, of course, warms my heart because of my dog Noah, who used a wheelchair for about the last 9 months of his life, or 8 months. I guess it was 7 or 8 months. We had a wheelchair and he loved it. He was so much more mobile with it. That said, I feel like we're really limited again in our meaning for the Chariot, because with a regular Chariot, we're dealing with light and dark, trying to get the two horses driving the chariot to come together. But when you consider the challenge, right, of disability, whether it's human or animal, trying to get all of those elements to come together to be able to move forward has a very similar feel to it. So yeah, it's just, I think, more psychological than psychologically symbolic in a way that's different. It's more of a kinesthetic feel, I guess. Then we have the Strength card, which is very interesting. Maybe the strength here is coming from choosing not to really pin that mouse down. I'm not sure. In fact, let's look at that. Let's look at that. I did not look at that last night. Let's see what she says about that. She says, the courage to overcome obstacles, fortitude, mental balance, abilities realized, willpower, success. We all face difficulties in our lives, and the hardest struggle is usually with the self. The Strength card is both a call to summon up the courage needed to channel rage, fear, and doubt, and a reassurance that you have the character to triumph. This is a most fortuitous card, one of the happiest in the major arcana. It often appears at a pivotal point in your life, a time when the decisions made can have far-reaching and positive consequences. This card indicates that you have developed wisdom and self-understanding and are no longer at the mercy of the ego with its unrestrained and selfish urges, perhaps being resembled or symbolized by choosing not to hurt the mouse. You have the self-control necessary to use your power intelligently and honorably, and can now realize your creative energy and potential. I love that. So we have like self-restraint, self-control, the ability to make, you know, wiser choices and not to be controlled by impulse. I like it. Okay, the Hermit. Very clever. If it fits, I sits. Yeah, it works. And finding a cozy little place by yourself. Cats are hermits in their own way a lot of the time. Wheel of Fortune there with a tuxedo cat. Love it. We're still getting all of the, you know, the elemental signifiers, and it's very clever. Justice is a shade of gray. I love it. That's great. This, you know, the 11-2, you know, Justice, High Priestess. Those are my birth cards. The Hanged Man, which definitely resembles my first cat, Benson, who was very similar looking to this cat, and a total freaking cutie. There's the Death card. I love that the Death card has cat ears, because, you know, of course they don't exist actually on a cat's skull, but, you know, it lets us know the skull we're looking at is feline. Too bad about the missing jaw, like lower jaw. We just have the maxilla, but not the, anyway, the lower jaw, it escapes me. Temperance has heterochromia in the eyes, which is beautiful. I love it. One delicate paw dipping down into that water. Yeah. The Devil, I feel like that's just so mean to do that to a hairless cat. The hairless cats get a little bit of a bad rap in this deck. Poor baby. It's, let's see, what does she say? Unbridled egotism. Yeah, let's see. The base instincts of selfishness, etc. We don't have any kind of information here about why the type of cat was chosen. You know, but yeah, okay. Then we have the Tower. And that is how cats tend to respond when they're kind of thrown off. The Star. So cute. They're so cute. Okay, the Moon. We don't have our creatures coming up out of the water. And I feel like we're getting more of a feel of like the happiness that cats feel roaming around at night, letting their basic instincts out, right? So that's kind of what we're getting there. The Sun, you know, basking in the sun. Who loves the sun more than cats? Because that's where they get their vitamin D. But yeah, I feel like that's really well done. Then we have Judgment. The looks, like the body language of these cats down here on the bottom compared with our sort of kind of reminds me of Winston Churchill looking cat there. Very funny indeed. I like the correlation between the bow around its neck and those two flags. Then we have the World, and that the body language and posture of this kitty is I just love it. I don't know why, I just do. And it's got, you know, it's darker, but it's got like a dark tip, kind of like a, you know, Siamese or Himalayan cat, you know, where there's like a darker paws, nose, face, and tip of the tail there, which I don't know how well that even comes across. And I can't remember what type of cat this is. I know there is a channel that I used to watch a lot. And I think I showed it to my mom recently. It still exists, I believe. I think it's called Teddy the Honking Cat. And the cat does honk. And I can't remember their breed. While I initially was like, oh Lord, what an ugly cat. After looking at them for any length of time, I was so in love with those cats. She has 4, and one of them is called Stash and has a big fat mustache across its upper lip, and they're just adorable. So that's what I think of when I see this. So if you're super into cats, I recommend Teddy the Honking Cat as a channel. I don't know if they're still uploading there or not, but it doesn't matter. It's worth it to go back and get your cuteness high. There's our 2 of Wands. Very sweet. Contemplating moving forward there. The 3 of Wands is very interesting. We've got the sort of folded ear cat. The name of the breed I can't recall. 3 of Wands. What does she say? She says, wisdom, new horizons, and exploration. The appearance of this card, yada yada, travel. There's not really yeah, I'm not seeing anything about embracing the changes, vision, new horizons, exploration. We're not exploring yet. The cat's just looking at us. Yeah, it's kind of weak. I mean, this one's a little weak. I think it's hard for beginners. It can be really hard to distinguish anyway between the 2 and the 3. I really struggled with that when I was learning myself. Like, I remember it was really a struggle. And I actually went back through my notes because I found my binder of all of this stuff recently when I was learning and getting certified as a tarot reader. And I remember I wrote a lot about struggling with these 2 cards. And yeah, so that's kind of not helpful. This is adorable. Really cute. 4 of Wands. Love this. Love this 5 of Wands. Rivalry, competitiveness, and clashes. Yeah. Yeah, basically, what does she write? She writes, conflict is the order of the day, especially in the world of work. This doesn't have to be a bad thing. Competition can spur you on to greater things and challenge may force a useful rethink, a mental straightening out. But this card counsels caution. Is it possible that everyone is merely playing pointless mind games? So I guess that this cat might be performing some sort of ritual, or casting a spell is kind of like a mind game, right? And it's a black cat, which we have associations with, of course. So yeah, I think we're playing with that there. The 6 of Wands, of course, is a victory. Very clear. 7, yep. Use caution as you proceed forward. And this cat has a little magic wand. So even though there's all these torches coming after a black cat, the black cat is definitely used a lot in this deck to symbolize different things. And yeah, being kind of chased with torches and having some magic on your side, I think is clever as a way of using that. The 8 of Wands. Very smug, happy looking cat that has all the broomsticks to fly away that it needs to get the job done. The 9 of Wands. This one's a little bit sad. It's a little sad. That kitty has been wounded somehow. And I remember I looked this one up last night because I was like, what are we doing here? You know, that's a bad fight right there. I have had cats come home before looking a little bit that way, a little worse for the wear, having had a fight. But essentially we're looking at the resilience that comes despite the challenges. This is what we're looking at there. 10 of Wands. I read this one as well because I think they're on the same page. And this one, of course, is the burden. I'm definitely I feel very much like the 10 of Wands lately. But the burden, there's creativity and there is the potential to bring whatever creative project is coming up to a head and therefore feeling more burdensome to a natural completion is what was in the book, or what I understood. Page of Wands. Such a great in a reading that's so clear, yeah. Knight of Wands, marvelous. Riding its broomstick. I love that the Queen of Wands has her own black kitten. I think that's perfect. King of Wands. Reminds me a little bit of my former cat Oliver, who was super cute. And kind of a big fat cat that was a tabby. Ace of Cups. Beautiful. 2 of Cups having a little Merlot. 3 of Cups. Lots of abundance there. Four of Cups, doing what cats do. Just, I'm knocking this one over. I'm full of the mischief and I am knocking this over. Yep. Five of Cups. I've spilled everything and left only two. You know, as well, we're not going to identify so much with the cats. The cats are almost like the force being represented, I think, by the energy of the card, right? Because we don't necessarily spill our own cups. The cat is not going to be disappointed by the spilled cups, right? But we would be. So something, you know, has spilled the cups. And left us looking as though there are, you know, three things spilt, two that we're not seeing, because neither is the cat. The cat hasn't seen them to spill them yet, although there is that potential. But a force has come to spill them, right? So as the onlooker, we're reviewing what it is that's been spilt. It gives us a little distance maybe from that. It's less personal. Six of Cups, beautiful. Cats there, children there, pretty much feels the same. Seven of Cups. Yeah. I mean, again, doesn't really change its meaning. There's nothing too different there. Although I do love the change of what's in the cups. Another cat, a little fishy, a snake, which we already had, but it's fun. An empty box, a food bowl, a feather, your ball of yarn, you know. Eight of Cups is interesting. You know, we're not gonna, the cat's not, it's a Manx. I love that we have a Manx cat in there. It kind of reminds me, you know, it could be in that its own native landscape there, on the Isle of Man. But the Eight of Cups usually, I don't know. This doesn't tell us what the eight, you know, it kind of misses that we have that depth in the Eight of Cups. It's not choosing to leave the cups and walk away. This cat could dash toward them and knock them all over. Or it could also walk away. I kind of feel like I wish that cat were not looking at us and maybe was looking, you know, was walking away from the cups. I don't know. And leaving them behind. That's kind of a missed opportunity, I guess. Again, those who know the Eight of Cups are not going to struggle, but when you're kind of reading and you're going quickly through something and you don't see, you know, you're seeing so many other familiar images and you're not seeing that one, it's a little off-putting maybe. Nine of Cups, marvelous. Marvelous choice. Love it. Love this cat. You know, it is completely satisfied, wealthy, marvelous, you know, bastet of a cat. Godlike almost. Yeah, our Ten of Cups. Very traditional there. Nothing new. That Page of Cups is great. Yeah. The Knight of Cups. Yeah, you know, it has the feeling of that, what it pops to mind is that Christopher Walken character from Saturday Night Live. They used to come to the door and be like, ah, come in, darling. You look marvelous. You want to come in. I can't even access my Christopher Walken at the moment, but it's kind of got that like, hey, I'm going to romance you with a glass of wine here kind of feel. Queen of Cups, lovely. Again, very traditional. King of Cups, similar. Really well done. I love those. Ace of Swords. Two of Swords. We've got a scratch across the kitty's face. No blindfold, though. No blindfold. Interesting. And it's interesting the way some of these are like, coming back to like the Queen of Cups. They're almost anthropomorphized, but then not. I don't know. Three of Swords, marvelous. I mean, if you're doing, I'm thinking of my friend Tracy, who's done pet mediumship, that would have a very specific meaning. Like it could be a very sudden death where the cat died unexpectedly. In a normal context, I would say, you know, I love the way that the head and heart are represented as both being wounded here. You know, it's getting the information. The information going in is what eventually gets to the heart and wounds it. Four of Swords, yeah. This one I also found confusing because shouldn't it be a kitty that's like curled up ready to go to sleep? Or sleeping on top of the coffin? This one looks like sassy, like it's ready to pounce. I don't know. Five of Swords. It does still make me smile. This kitty has been through a conflict. For sure. Yeah. Six of Swords. Again. Yeah, I mean, the kitty is safe behind all of those swords. But we don't have that sense of a journey, right? Where you've gone from one point to the next point to be safe. We do have that merchant-y looking ship, but it's not quite the same. Seven of Swords. Again, do you see what I'm saying? Like these poor, hairless cats are getting a bad rap here today. The Seven of Swords, we're usually looking at deception. It's got one sword here that it's got its paw on, and it's, yeah. I mean, you can still get the sense of deception. I'm not sure why all the tattoos on the hairless cat. Are those supposed to represent, like, that people who have lots of ink are not as, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what we're going with there, but even without that, I still love it makes me smile. I mean, it lightens up the whole reading in its own way. That Eight of Swords is freaking adorable. It's so cute. I got most of my cute aggression out last night so that I could actually talk about the cards more objectively today. That's probably good. This one still is just, every time I sit down to crochet or knit something, I've got a Trinley cat nearby ready to create this problem for me. And it's so utterly cute and sweet, it's hard to be mad. Yeah, I mean, we're bound up here with yarn instead of a blindfold, but, and it's not quite as severe. It kind of takes some of the severity out of the situation. Nine of Swords, pretty clear. Pretty true to form. I even love the detail that it's got all of the symbols on its cat bed. Ten of Swords, yeah. But I really appreciate that the cat's been pinned in by the swords, but not necessarily been pierced by the swords and killed. So instead of getting a really gruesome image, it's pretty light, right? It's still a pretty lightweight card. And people often have really serious critiques about that, but given the ability to have any kind of cards you want these days, come on guys, come on. I'd say just like, let's not be so attached, eh? It's still pretty fun to get the playful stuff. There's our Page of Swords, very smart little kitty reading his book. The Knight of Swords. Our Knight of Swords is missing a front paw, which I totally did not see last night. Interesting. So taking unnecessary risks, maybe. God, that Queen of Swords is freaking amazing. She has sexy little boots on, gloves and boots, and is just full of sass, full of the sass. Look at that, full of the sass. Love it. And smart. King of Swords looks kind of comparatively soft somehow. But again, this deck is very soft. Ace of Pentacles, adorable. Pretty kitty. Two of Pentacles. As above, so below. Balance. Yeah, that's that one's kind of cool. I dig it. Three of Pence. You know, again, we're depending very heavily on the RWS connotation for this one, and we're just showing three different kitties. Four of Pentacles is my cat Marty in a nutshell, right there. If there were ever a card that represents my cat Marty, it would already would be the Four of Pentacles. And funny, I only really feel like one of them is him, and this is the one. He is fat. He is a yellowy orangey cat, and all he wants is all the food all to himself all the time, or all of my attention or all of Tom's attention all to himself all the time. Nothing else. That's everything he wants in his life. You know, rescue animals are the best. Yeah. But Trinley will find all throughout the entire deck, sneaking in and out, because that's the way he is too. There's our Five of Pentacles. Kitty is cold. It is a very fat kitty who is not, we're not supposed to worry about the kitty. The kitty is fat and will find his way back inside at some point. It's clearly been inside a lot and done very little moving around. But so we don't want to feel sorry for this kitty, but it at this moment, it's temporary. It is outside and it is cold, and it can't find its way back in yet. That's what we got there. It's not too harsh. This kitty is enjoying the delights of the autumn. Again, we're seeing what I feel is my cat Trinley sneaking in and out of the deck at various different points, enjoying modeling various different things. But a very cute Six of Pentacles. You know, this one has it all. This one has none. But this one is also spilling its wealth and offering, right? Which is kind of like, I guess, the spirit of Halloween, isn't it? When we go trick-or-treating, you're handing candy out. So we get that connotation there as you draw it out and think about it. There's our Seven of Pentacles, a cat actually watering the tree. Kind of more brown than black, but nonetheless very sweet, very earthy. Another mischievous tuxedo cat with our Eight of Pentacles cooking up a spell. Working very hard, thinking carefully about it. Yeah, has a friendly spider there in the background to help it out. Nine of Pentacles is really content and happy in their little garden. About what we'd expect, but no hawk with a blindfold. And then the Ten of Pentacles. I love this Ten of Pentacles so much. The first and second times that I flipped through it while we were sitting last night hanging out, that was a card I noted and thought, gosh, that's a great card. And then later, as I was flipping through the deck, or shuffling the deck and doing repeated overhands just to see if the deck wanted to send me a little message, that was the card that jumped. No other cards, no jumps, just that one. So it was kind of a nice little message. It was a tough day yesterday. So having that Ten of Pentacles felt very reassuring and cozy, even though it's July. And that is clearly a Christmas card. So yeah, there's our page. There's our knight. That kitty is floating up above its spell circle there, its little pentacle, its sacred space, ready to zip off, but not too fast. Might be a little heavy to fly, we don't know. Queen of Pentacles, love it. Tricolor kitty. It's just beautiful. And the King of Pentacles. So cute. Yeah. Yeah, this could really give me the cute aggression hardcore. It really could. It's just so adorable. Love these backs. The backs, you know, with the skulls and the scroll work, they're fully reversible. The guidebook does offer reverse meanings. So for those who love a reverse meaning, you're in good shape there. As you can see, really, really easy shuffle. Let me see. It's only awkward because of my, can Bridget, tripod here. Maybe I could shift it. Hang on. Moving the chair. All right, let's try it this way. Does make a pretty sweet little shuffle though. Yep. So it is bendy, and it is likely to kind of develop a little bend in it. I did find that, like, and I do with like arching or bridging, that I often have to shuffle my cards face up and face down, kind of even them out so that they don't develop a kind of banana shape. And these will do that. They smell great. Oh yeah, nice smell. Again, smells very much like the mushroom deck, the Midnight Magic mushrooms. I have no idea if these are even in frame now because I just moved everything. I think they're probably okay here. But yeah, a great deck. Really sweet, very cute, you know, easy to read all together. Very RWS, you know, you're gonna find it looks completely familiar. See what I said about there's just Trinleys all over this deck in various places. Yeah. So very, very cute deck. Again, very beginner friendly. I like it. Makes me smile. Made me smile the whole way through. Still making me smile now. So there we go. There is Cats Rule the Earth Tarot. Yeah, I mean, this is not a hard deck. I don't feel like I'm going to need to come back and do another review or anything. I've kind of, it's not super deep, but it is delightful. There we are. This is the same publisher, by the way. I didn't say this at the beginning, I forgot. Who Abrams Image, I went to see if they'd published any other decks, and they have only published a few. They published the Cthulhu, there's a Cthulhu deck that they published, which stood out because it's so different. And I don't recall what the other one was. There was another one. I feel like it was an Oracle deck. It was not one I was as familiar with, but they have not done, it's a very small company, and they haven't done a lot of tarot publishing yet. But I'm really encouraged, and I would really love to see them publish more. I'm really amazed by the quality of the overall packaging is really spectacular. The book is well done. Again, the production quality is great. Again, a lot of these cards that we see with the cardstock are gonna be prone to some chipping or whatever, but I mean, I did just shuffle it a bunch more times now, and I don't feel like it could also have been that way just from going through the cutting process. I don't know. Personally, I don't fuss over those things the way that a lot of people do. The finish is beautiful. They're soft. They move around really nicely. I don't know. I mean, I didn't do an overhand. They are like a more traditional tarot size. They're not too thick. Small-handed people, you're going to be in good shape. You know, they're stunning. They're really beautiful cards. So, I mean, I think it's high quality for what it is as a mass market deck. There we go. All right. I will see you soon when I come back with 3 more that came from that voucher for Barnes & Noble. And I think you're going to like them. Not very deep, but definitely going to be some classics that'll be fun to work with. All right, folks. See you in the next one. Bye.